the night is not so scary when you know how to fly. But when your wings are broken, you start praying for the light.
That was a wild day. I'd actually just started a new job, basically, and it was the very first day. It was a Monday, and had met with my new boss. Came back to my desk to like 25 missed calls. Very obvious something was not right from everyone in Lindsey's family, from Lindsey, from her parents, from brothers-in-law, sisters.
On October 17th, 2016, we lost my baby brother suddenly. And, my heart was shattered into a million pieces. And the day before, God had just put on my heart to pray. And I said, God, I've watched my mom and dad go through some pretty painful stuff, and I've watched people around me endure some pretty significant heartache. But you've never asked me personally to walk down a painful path. And if you do, will you please just make me faithful?
Lindsey's one of 6, and so in a way, each of the siblings kind of have a twin. None of them are twins, but they have someone who's kind of just like them.
Like a double.
Like a double.
Yeah.
And Zach is very much Lindsey's double. So on a level, it feels like you lost your wife. A weird feeling, but... And then I think you step back from that and realize, your wife lost such a close friend. I think you have the choice in that moment about, how you're going to choose to respond. And I think if you choose to respond out of your humanness, you kind of have to flee the pain, right? And so I think that's what drives some of that shutting people out activity, right? Is a response from your humanness.
Grief is, I don't even want to say more manageable. I think grief has a purpose when you know Christ. Because I think when you don't know Christ, every loss is forever, right? But when you know Christ, your loss is temporary. And one of my prayers has been like, Lord, let me see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, right? Because I know eternity is great, it's perfect, but I want to see your goodness here too. And I want to see the good that you do here as a result of my pain, right? And it's, and I think God has let us see that exponentially for us. So like in our grief, we were at Zach's graveside and we were all sharing memories the year after he died. And, the kids are running around and playing, and then they come and kiss the gravestone. I mean, it's just, it's the sweetest thing, like watching all the nieces and nephews and everybody, and we're laughing and crying. And one of Zach's best friends pulled up and he said, hey, this is where you guys are. He said, I was going to come over earlier, and then the Lord just stopped me. And he said, and I thought, okay, so I waited, and then I prayed again and said, Lord, I just going to go out to the gravesite and just, maybe just sit with you a little while. He said, this is why I was supposed to wait. I didn't realize. And he said, you guys are all telling Zach stories. Could I tell a Zach story? And we're like, oh, yeah, for sure. And so he said, I was at this college age conference, and there were, college students from North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, like just thousands of students. He said, and I saw a kid with an SDSU sweatshirt, and that's where Zach went to college. And he said, I went up to the kid and I said, hey, I know somebody that used to go to SDSU. And he said, oh yeah, who do you know? And, he said, well, Zach Bowie. And he goes, I know Zach Bowie. He goes, you do? He said, yeah, he introduced me to Jesus before he died. And I think, that's what makes grief matter, is that there's something greater than this moment. I think because it's easy to get stuck in the moment, but asking God, and we have all prayed that as a family, God, will you show us your purpose and your redeeming power in the middle of this, and he's been so faithful. I mean, the joy, I think, my parents are so sold out for the Lord, and I think for them, hearing people come to know Jesus as a personal relationship, with a personal relationship with Christ, is a joy beyond what can be explained. And it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean it doesn't take that pain away. It doesn't make your grieving, you don't grieve less deeply. You still grieve just as much, but there is purpose behind the grief because God's purpose is prevailing. We know that there's eternal outcomes. We know that there have already been people that have come to know the Lord as a result of Zach dying. And I can say with complete brokenness and humility that that pain is worth it to bring someone into salvation, into eternity. Not because Zach is so great, because he was the best, the best of us, everybody's favorite. Without question, everybody's favorite. We're all okay with it. But because God is actually good and he's perfect and he knows what he's doing. And so I trust that he's going to take all these things that we're struggling with and turn it into his good because we trust him.
Please keep waiting.